Hello, 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 hello. Can everyone hear me okay? Let me adjust this sound here. We had a fun time with making some music. Hopefully everyone's having a good day, a good Labor Day. Hello, hello, if you celebrate Labor Day, if you're in the States. Let's go. Labor Day. Hopefully everyone had a good little day of vacation. But is the sound okay? I can never get my sound right here with this music here. But hopefully everyone can hear me okay. If you can't, I'll figure it out at some point. Perfect. Awesome. But hello. Welcome everyone. This is Eltarii, the Professional Gamer, and you are joining us for yet another very professional Monday stream. Yes, we do this every Monday, 8 p.m.-ish. 8 p.m.-ish to 10 p.m.-ish Pacific Standard Time every Monday. You can find us here on both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Twitch. I'm like gesturing like you know what I'm pointing at. It's because my YouTube chat is over here and my Twitch chat is over here. So hopefully everyone is having a amazing Monday, regardless of whether or not you had it off, you have it on, or it's Tuesday for you already, because I know we have some people tuning in from all the way on the other side of the pond. But today we are going to be doing some fun preparations and probably starting on a journey to head all the way to the most challenging dungeon that I have ever experienced in Pax Dei. For those of you wondering what the name of that dungeon is, it is indeed known as the Carcinoma. It is one of the most challenging dungeons I think we have ever faced as a group, and we have a couple of things that we need to get from there at some point in the near future. So I am going to just be heading out over there and doing all of the stuff that needs to be doing over there. But before we go, there are a couple of things that we are going to need to finish before we head on out. The first thing is that we are actually returning from a journey out there previously. So I'm going to need to refresh some gear here, as I have almost destroyed some of it. And yeah, we actually just a couple of days ago went and did a 2-man farm of this wonderful little sigil here called the Sigil of Radaraf. For those of you who are wondering, Radaraf is rose in Latin, I'm pretty sure. And the fun little story about the Sigil of Radaraf is it makes the magical spell wielding vambrace, metal vambrace, known as the vambrace of the rose. And so again, really strong connection to the rose there. And not only is there a connection to the rose in that way, but there's also another connection to rose. And that is because the named mob that drops the Sigil of Radaraf, who is called the Priest of Zeb, is located just outside of a room that is actually full of overgrown roses. So that is a pretty cool little thing, a little sub-context there. We got JC here working on a build for the hospital, helping one of our other members of the Golden Company who set off on the project and now is looking for some additional help. And we actually got a really cool little shout out on YouTube by not our channel, but another channel called Nico Plays. You should totally check him out. I will link him down below because it is very, very illegal that he has only 98 subscribers currently. It's a true shame, and it is against the law, because people who have nice, wholesome Pax Day content and are really committing a lot of time to the game should really be given a lot more attention. And I think he'll be very pleased to have some of our community come over there and say hi and hang out with him over there. I know a lot of the Golden Company members were really happy to see kind of how someone outside of the game, outside of our normal gameplay loop, people who haven't been to the city before, haven't seen all the things that we're working on, and, see how they take all of that information and apply it to what they're seeing and make assessments of things, of what they are. Unfortunately, we did miss one thing. This giant structure here, which I've shown in past live streams and other gameplay, is a bank, but unfortunately it kind of looked like a prison to Nico. So all great notes and things that we can kind of use to refine our design language, so that when players are walking through the city, they shouldn't have to guess as to what they're looking at. It should just make sense. And that's a really big goal that I kind of have wanted all of our members to take on and really apply to what they're doing and why they're doing. But there were, for that small, I think we were like 90%, 80%, 90% well communicated. Like, he knew this was the Hall of Justice without calling it the Hall of Justice. The only other one was kind of the far back there. The Hall of 100 was, I finally don't get lost anymore. Perfect. Yes, Dilly. See, it grows on you over time. But yeah, so we had only a couple of misses. I would like to tune that down to a 0% failure rate on people knowing what the heck we're doing and where things are and where they're coming from and where they're going, kind of thing. So all in all, pretty decent score. I'll take it. But either way, what are we doing today? I guess I feel like, did I already do an intro? Well, either way, hello and welcome everyone. In case you didn't catch it when we started the stream, I am Eltarii, the professional gamer, and you are joining us on our Monday, very professional Monday live stream. And every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m.-ish, we gather as a community, hang out, ask questions if you have them, talk about progress, go on adventures, do anything and everything in between. Sometimes we'll do crafting, sometimes we'll do building, sometimes we'll go out into dungeons, and other times we will just go on adventures, which is kind of what we are planning on doing today. Now, we do have a goal for this adventure. We are heading all the way over to Mary. This is quite a perilous journey, and it'll be perilous for many, many reasons. I'll let you figure out what those reasons are as we go along, but I don't want to spoil too much of anything. So what I'm doing right now, I have an order that came in. I'm one of our blacksmiths and our leading armor smith, and we have an order for a vambrace of the Rose, which requires the sigil of Radarath. So on Friday, I think, my goal was to go out and farm one of these sigils, and I grouped up with Celebrimbor, a member of the Golden Company, and we went and two-manned a very large dungeon that we probably didn't have any right to be in, at least for what we were there for. And it was quite a fun time to get to go and do that as a two-man crew. So we did successfully get it. We didn't wipe. Hey, what's up, Fujo? So we didn't wipe. We didn't have any too big of an issue there. And we actually were able to get a couple of tattered sigils, which are, if anyone has been sleeping on the game so far, if you're looking for something that makes you a lot of literally anything else other than tattered sigils. Tattered sigils are the way to go. If you can farm that and you have a good farm location, you're going to be set, because those are the currency of the realm currently. Highly recommend checking them out. So what we are crafting, because we do have that order that came in, is the Vambrace of the Rose. So if you just type in I and then colon and then rad, it's going to tell you all the things that include Radiant Mend, or rad, includes rad in the name. And what we're looking for is the Sigil of Radarath. That's what we are looking to craft here. Really, really easy craft to make. In fact, from the dungeon run that we did, I picked up a bunch of iron, 27 to be exact. And I'm going to see if I'm going to be able to craft all of this just off of the materials that I pretty much gathered. And I think I will be able to. So, Sigil of Radarath and the Vambrace of the Rose. I really, really like it when you go to farm something and the byproduct of you farming something also results in a majority of the materials that you need to actually craft said something. So this was one of those. Another one of those is the Canoness Halberg. It's a very early game relic that you can get, and it's a really important one at that, because you are able to use Radiant Mend 1, which, if anyone doesn't know what that is, it is an AoE heal, heals everyone for 20 health, and it also gives them 2 minutes of health regen. Not huge health regen, but it makes a pretty big difference, and when you have like 5 or 10 people with all of that, it's really, really good. So, looks like we're going to have more than enough of what we need. Now, the crazy thing about the Sigil of Radarath, it does have a little bit lower in terms of the armor. What's up, Wes? Welcome to chat. It does have a little bit of a lower amount of armor, but it does give you Blessed Renewal 2. Now, Blessed Renewal 2 is a handy spell, which is ironic because it does go on your arms, so it's kind of like actually with your hands as well. But it does actually have a relatively low crafting level, and it uses only iron resources. So granted, you're not going to be rolling around with 24, 24, 24. I think it's about 10 lower. But having something is better than having nothing, and having something that gives you a spell is far more useful sometimes, in my opinion, than if you're just kind of using nothing, you know? So, Blessed Renewal isn't the best spell that you can get, but it is a very useful spell that I highly recommend people utilize if they have the opportunity to. It's basically a faster health regen than what you would normally get with a Radiant Mend 1. They don't stack, unfortunately, so that is another thing. You aren't really going to be able to stack Blessed Renewal and Radiant Mend, but your Blessed Renewal is going to be better for a single target. So here is the Vambrace of the Rose. You can see here, so it's actually not 10. It's a little bit less than that. It's about 6 points of armor different, or 18 points of armor in total off of the other one, the transitional Vambrace, which is literally the highest armor that you can make in the game currently for the Vambrace slot. But it does have that spell. So we're going to go ahead and craft it. This is for one of our Golden Company members. We have kind of a gear request system that rewards players for engaging with the community and actually showing up and doing things and participating. It's not really gatekeeping, because there's many ways that they can get access to it, but it does really facilitate a lot of activity with the group, and the players really like it a lot too. So it also helps us not go hog wild on resource utilization, and I definitely recommend other groups look into stuff like this as well. Amarok, hello and welcome. Thank you for the follow, and thank you for the raid as well. I appreciate it. Hello and welcome all of you new viewers and fellow consumers of Pax Dei and Pax Dei related content. Glad that you could make it. I'm Eltarii, the Professional Gamer, and this channel is an accompaniment to our YouTube channel where we produce most of our content, but we gather here once a week for the very professional Monday live stream where we as a community talk about all of the fun things that are going on in Pax Dei, and I also take an opportunity to answer any questions that you might have about the game. I have had the privilege and the opportunity to play Pax Dei from very, very early on in the development. I was a friends and family alpha tester, and we have been here playing for quite a while, and I thoroughly love this amazing game that we are getting to play being developed by Mainframe. So you're in the right place if you're passionate about Pax Dei and you're looking to learn more or learn along the way, as we are all doing. Hola. I legit am new to the game. Crow Barracks was showing me the ropes. Nice. Yes. Well, there's many ropes to learn, as I'm sure you have discovered. Hopefully you're enjoying the game, Amrock, because it is quite a fun game in my opinion, and there's a lot to do depending on the different things that you like to do. And there's even more stuff coming in the next couple of weeks or month or two with a pretty large autumn update that we have, for all better or worse, been able to confirm is going to be mostly everything that is located on that initial roadmap that existed when the game came out of early access. Or came out into early access, pardon me. What do you think about your build location? I've been running around trying to find all the best spots, and honestly, after learning what you need to progress fast, I can't really find a better location. Oh, there are billions upon billions of better locations. And there's a lot of things that you kind of have to consider, Wes, when you're going through, because there is a lot of components that go into a building location, and really it depends on your goals as a player or as a community or what have you. Those goals are going to really determine your success. And what could I mean by this? What do I mean? So first and foremost, if you're trying to build a really big city, the thing that you're going to have to accept right off the bat is that you're just not, you're not going to be able to utilize most of the resources that exist around your city. And what I mean by that is, if you're building a really large build, like something that we've built here, and I'll show you what it looks like from the outside, there's just not much that you can do because all of these resources are going to disappear from underneath your plots. They're going to have nowhere to go, nothing to do. Like, you're not going to be able to do much with them. And that can be something that a lot of players find abrasion with. But depending on the size of your build, first and foremost, you're going to have to look for a location that's near resources, but not on top of them. I would say anything outside of a 15-minute walk is probably too far away if you're really trying to not burn yourself out on travel. But if you can handle it and you like just walking around and you don't want to progress fast, then that's fine. But 15 minutes out, that's a pretty solid amount of time. It means that you're going to spend 30 minutes walking to and from, or at least 15 minutes walking out, and then you're going to spend another 30 minutes gathering, so to speak. So every hour that you're spending, you're only really getting 30 minutes of time. But there's a lot of other considerations. We can talk more if you have specific questions on that too. Amrock, yes, I heard about the update coming. I can't complain. More content is always great for the game. Absolutely. And some of the content that's coming is going to make a lot more consistent activity, and playing consistently is going to be rewarded, and it's going to really incentivize players to be logging in and playing the game as best and as often as they can. So So looking at the city, West, just to kind of give a scope, and I know you've been around the block, so you know, you've probably seen the city once or twice before. But just to give context to what we're talking about here. Now, in the island as a whole, you see that there's the road that's kind of going through. So on this side of the island, we call it the north side of the island. Then we call this the south side of the island. And then one of our players that we recruited during early access came and settled over here, and his name was Wormskull. And as a result, we ended up calling this Wormskull Island. And Wormskull Island has been pivotal in the success of the Golden Company and the building of the Golden City. And the reason for that is because trees don't despawn. And when you have this little bridge right here that goes across, connects with the main city, we can do a cycle where we go around and around and around in circles around all of these trees, these pine trees. And you can fill up all of the kilns. You can fill up your inventory with wood. You can do all of those things. So we have the Wormwood and Wormskull Island. And also in the very center here, you can see our alchemy college, our college or school of alchemy, our alchemy factory even. And yeah, no, I really like the name of the island. Yes, and it is worm, not worm. But another fun thing about that as well, even, is not only is it worm like that, but we also have a nice little worm sitting here on the island as well. So very, very fun. And Don, hello. Glad to see you around. You're missed, my guy. But a really fun little alchemy island here with a lot of room for activity, to say the least. But with that being said, kind of go back out. Got a little lost in the sauce there for a second. So the North Island over there and the South Island here are basically devoid of resources. They've been that way. They've been that way for a while. And that is just kind of what it is. And when you place your plots down, those resources no longer spawn in. So there was a decent number of like nice rocks kind of scattered around here, but not really abundant. Also not too much in terms of clay or anything like that. So we actually picked this location not because it had a lot of resources, but because it didn't have a lot of resources. And if you're really thinking to try and be considerate with the size of your group and how many plots can be placed on the server, when we came in, we were under the impression, based on some of the intel that we had, that around 400 something plots was the maximum number of plots that a home valley could hold. So effectively either 450 players having one plot or any combination of number of players and number of plots that add up to 450. We now know, based on just observation, that that number is closer to 800 currently. And what that means, though, when we were planning on all of this, is we knew that if 450 players were going to be able to place one plot, if we have, I believe we have about an average of 2.5 plots per player in the Golden Company, we knew that because our requirement for entry into the Golden Company is that each member of the Golden Company has to contribute their first plot to the Golden Company. It's not their plot anymore. It's a communal plot that we can use to build all of this crazy stuff that we're building. So this is a Ex Modus Gaming. Hello, welcome. Glad that you can join, and thank you for the kind words. But with that being said, we knew that we were going to have effectively 100 plots, or what we thought was going to be 1/4 of the total plots accessible to this particular home valley. So 25% of the total plots. And we knew that that was going to be a little bit of a shaky area there. And we also knew that we had some players that were going to be contributing more than just one plot to the Golden Company for being able to do all of this. And we knew that we had to be very, very responsible for the server, and we couldn't just come in and place all of our plots down somewhere because it looks cool and then end up with there being no resources in the zone, and it kills our goals of being a place where community wants to come together and be a part of everything, because there's no resources for them to actually come together with. So we picked this spot because it had very little resources in the area. Like, almost oddly enough, it had almost no resources. It was a perfect place for us to place the city down, because when we placed all of our plots, there wasn't really many resource nodes that weren't available as a result of it. So we didn't shoot the home valley in the foot by choosing this location, and that's a main reason why we picked it. But the benefit was that we had woods very nearby, we had woods over here very nearby, and then we knew all of this region over here is a hotbed for not only nice rocks, but also for iron ore all up in here. There's also some granite and limestone over here as well. And then there's also a lot of clay all up and down the banks of this river. So really, really big area that we knew that if we placed all of our stuff down, we weren't going to be shooting the rest of the region in the foot. And I think it's safe to say, if you look around here, there are many, many other communities that exist here that have been able to thrive because all of the resources that were available to them were still available to them. I couldn't imagine what this area would look like if we took all of these plots here and moved them to like this entire area right here, because this area had a lot of resources. And even now there's not as many, because there's players that have placed a lot of their plots there too. But in some ways we kind of reduced the total number of resources that would be taken off the table. And by reducing all of those resources, hi Tevin, by reducing all of the like total number of resources that could be consumed by placing a plot on it, I think that actually has enabled this region to grow a lot more. And a lot of that is by happenstance. A lot of these groups, we have the Viridian Order right here. Then we have Corda Silva, which is kind of over here a bit. And actually, I think they're over here. I can't really tell based on where I'm at and it's nighttime, but I'm pretty sure they're kind of like right there is where Corda Silva is. So we have a lot of other groups that are in the area, and they also chose locations that don't have a lot of resources on them. So we have a lot of, like, there wasn't many resources here either. And I think what a great kind of case study for Pax Dei is, if you as a community don't want to end up shooting yourselves in the foot, it actually really incentivizes you. And not many players recognize this off the bat, but it incentivizes you to be closer together, because the closer together you are, the more resources are still available everywhere else. If you go and spread out, you're just increasing the chances that you're going to be on other resources, and then other players aren't going to have those resources anymore. I mean, if someone really wanted to be mean, they could go around every bank and just put a plot down where they see clay. And then those clay nodes won't spawn anymore. Master Swaggy, hello. Welcome back. But with that being said, we didn't have any of those players, and I think that's kind of a big reason why this region in Dolavan, which is a part of Kerry's province, has really been able to thrive and has a lot of nice, vibrant communities that still exist. And, obviously the Golden City. So I would say, Wes, the things that you need to consider are travel times, how far away from things you are. Don't think that you should place, if you're playing solo, think about strategic locations where you can place things and just get them going as quickly as you can get there. So if you're working on iron, have a plot near the iron. If you're collecting clay, have a plot near the clay, and then have the processing agents there. So if you're near the woods, that's where your charcoal kilns are. If you're near the clay, that's where your brick kilns are. If you're near the iron, that's where your smelters are going to be. And by having those kind of centralized locations, you can reduce all of the travel times between them. But other than that, you know, Tevin's point there, building near the end of a home valley is amazing, because in the wildlands, you're not going to be able to block, like other players aren't going to be able to place their plots down in that area. It's a little bit more dangerous in the wildlands, but all of those resources are pure and like unadulterated. You're never going to be able to place a plot on it, or at least not right now. You won't be able to place a plot and remove those. You'll always be able to get there. Lekai, yes, one plot, best place to put it, probably somewhere kind of near the edge of a zone and in an area that has an abundance of a couple of different resources. Then you also, if you specialize in those resources, you can trade those resources to other players that maybe don't have that convenience, and you have an abundance of something. They would love to trade for that abundance. If you're really good at doing one thing, they're really good at doing another thing. Set up an arrangement. Every week you guys meet up at a certain time, drop resources off, everyone's happy. So that is kind of my standpoint on all of that. Now, where the heck am I? Oh, yeah. So, okay, one last thing that I need to do. So like I said at the beginning of the stream, our goal for today is to head out on an adventure to Mary, where we're going to go to the most difficult dungeon that, in my opinion, exists in Pax Dei right now. That dungeon is all the way in Mary. It is called the Carcinogen. There are a couple of really nice relics that are located there, but also there is a doorway to other doorways, if I must say, that will open some more options for what we can do in a shorter amount of time, and going to run it by myself. Now, if I could do that, if I had the opportunity to do that, that is going to be amazing. But so Wes, if you're on Danu, if you're located on Danu, we are going to, and by we I mean me, we're going to be going to the Carcinogen. Pretty gangster like that. I don't know if I'm that gangster. I am not wearing the best armor. I tend to gear out all of the guys and gals in the Golden Company before I start doing that for myself. So I'm not altogether too much more put together than what we see right now. But I am going to make, it looks like we ran out of some steel shields. So before I head out on this journey, I am going to process some steel shields for people and maybe keep one extra one for myself, since I'm going to be going on a bit of an extended journey here. So I'll be able to take some time here and talk about some more stuff if anyone has any other questions. But yeah, so as I was saying, you know, I think that the big thing is when you're picking a location, like the Golden Company isn't going to build the Golden City in Dolavan again, at least not initially. We are looking at a bunch of different locations. We want to try as many different ones as we can. I believe we're just south. I'll be entering in through the Gwendolyn Gate, which is just due west of the entrance to the Carcinogen. So that's the dungeon that we're going through. So Gwendolyn Gate, draw a line. If you look to the east of the Gwendolyn Stone Gate, or whatever it's called, that is where we're going. So when you're picking a location to build at and do all of that stuff in, if you're a larger group, because I kind of talked about the solo style, my recommendations for like medium-sized groups is to prioritize being closer to other people a little bit more, because as a medium-sized group, you're going to have a lot more resources available to you that you can kind of offer in exchange for other things, and you're going to be a lot closer to activity. So if your players, you know, if you only have 10 players in your group, then you are going to be a little bit more inclined to there being some downtime where no one else in your group is online. And obviously you're playing in a group because you like playing with other people. So if you're in a situation where you're in a group of like 10 people and you're the only one online because everyone's off doing other things, they are on vacation or whatever it is, when you settle closer to other groups, you have the ability to go and socialize with them without having the cost associated of, joining them, right? And when your group comes back, then you can play with them again, or you can go, maybe you find out that these other people are really fun to hang out with, and you can continue playing with them either by joining them or just doing what you're doing by going and hanging out. So I always recommend settling nearer to people. Obviously, you don't know where nearer to people is when the game first launches, and that's going to be where you have to do a little bit more research up front and see where people are, or maybe not get too committed to an area that you're building in when the game first launches. See where other people are building, if they have decently sized communities as well. See if they're going to be settling near you, or see if you have an opportunity to kind of go and settle near them. That also concentrates, like I said, the areas where there's no resources, but also means that there's an abundance of areas around that have a lot more resources because there's not as many scattered plots around. I think ultimately that's going to be what Pax Day is going to start incentivizing even more, is bringing players together closer together. So you do have these smaller villages or towns or cities or even larger. So that is kind of a recommendation that I would say to kind of look into for any group that's asking, just because it does make a lot more sense to put plots closer together. One, because it extends the size of those plots, but then also because then there's more resources available to everyone in the home valley who are around there. Now, obviously, players are going to place where areas look good, and there are definitely plots that exist in the Golden City where if you were to have placed them back when there was nothing there, you would have been like, this is the dumbest plot location, period. And I'll after we finish this craft, I'll zoom over to a couple of those locations where you're like, yeah, why would I place there? It's not scenic. There's nothing cool about it. It would just be a bunch of grass, just a bunch of grass. And the fact of it is that, yeah, it was just grass. But imagine if you placed your plot down in the Golden City in just a tiny, in a little circle that exists a plot hole, so to speak, and what you could be able to do with the rest of the city that's now around you. And you can integrate into the build, have a street that runs through it. All these other parts of the city now create scenic views that you otherwise wouldn't have had. And that is something that I don't think players really can do unless you have that communication between groups and understand what's going on. In the future, we're, as the Golden City, the Golden Company, we're looking into inviting some groups that we've been playing with and inviting them for GC7. We're on GC6 right now, but on GC7, we're looking to invite some of these communities in and be a part, have their plots in the Golden City proper, not on the outskirts of it or whatever, and invite them in to be building it a part of the city. We're obviously providing backbone of the city and its organization and how streets are organized and locations of different smelters and charcoal kilns and market squares and eventually altars and other things that players are going to need. And eventually in the game, you're also going to need blacksmiths to look like blacksmiths. And when you need them to look like blacksmiths, there's probably going to be items that are rare to find, and you need to put them inside that blacksmithy. Well, a solo player is either going to have to spend a lot of money to pay someone to go and find that for them, or to join a group and get lucky in the loot circle or the cycle, and that is entirely a possibility. But the alternative is, if you're in or near the Golden City, there are going to be public plots open for any of those players to gain access to and utilize for their own crafts. So you can make higher tier crafts without having the need to have that higher tier station. And this is important to note as well, because having the station not on your own plot means that you can build cooler things on your own plot. You don't have to have a giant space for like all of the smelters and furnaces and all of that. Maybe you actually you only have one plot and you wanted that one plot to be a tavern, or you wanted it to be something else, but you couldn't do it because all of that stuff is very much so like large pieces of build, and you only have one plot. You can't make a tavern if you also are trying to make weapons and a forge and a blacksmithy and all of those other things. The plot's just not big enough. But if you have that one plot and you're next to a bunch of people who share their crafting stations, share the ability, share, the resources necessary. You don't need to have 4 million charcoal kilns. You need to supply bread and then use the money that people spend on buying that bread and take it out and move it over to buying charcoal so that you can then make whatever you need to make there, and then go to the furnace and trade that over for actual ingots. And now you don't have to waste all of that space economy on other random things. Windmills and furnaces. And that's only tier 3 crafting. We haven't even gotten into journeyman or master level crafting stations. I mean, could you imagine what like an industrial war forge would look like if they add that to the game? If we already have like a furnace that's the size of a building all the way down here, like these furnaces are massive. Obviously we made them doubly massive because everything in the Golden City has to be epic, but like these things are huge. They're on like 2 plots and there's only 3 of them. Imagine like how many plots had to be used. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. That's like 5 plots, 6 plots that you had to use in order to get all these furnaces there. And that in and of itself is 8 total, which means you can make like 2 stacks of steel an hour or something like that. That's a low capacity for what it's worth. But, we have the space that we can commit to it. Not everyone has that space, but having population centers can allow for that. Let's see here. I think someone posted something. Melody MP, please show detail of lit squares in walls and on bridge deck. Of course, I would love to. Blacklight, hello. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate you, brother. All right. Yes, I can show how we do some inlighting. I can show some inlighting here, no problem. Let me just pop off on these real quick so we can make some steel spikes and go from there. And we are going to make our way to Mary. We do have to leave very soon if we're going to do it before the end of the stream. So we will make things quick. I promise I will stop blabbering. You think you have a lot of time, and then all of a sudden you look at the clock and you're like, oh, things take time. But so you're asking for detail of lit squares in walls and on the bridge deck. So lit squares in walls, are you talking about the ones that are literally right in front of me right now? Because that's just light shining through. I don't think you're talking about those though. So Melody, while I'm walking around the city, if you see, if I don't see the lit squares in walls, let me know. And if you see it and I don't, I can stop and talk about it or go back. But I know the parts of the bridge that you're talking about. The inset ones, not the windows. Got it. We can do that. Inset lights. Inset lighting is quite an important thing. We also, we're working on ceiling, like, oh gosh, what did we call it? Like inset lighting for ceilings, where you have a flat ceiling and then you have a light source at that ceiling. Highly dangerous, highly, highly dangerous, super big fire hazard. But yeah, I can show you those. Windmills not spinning is a bugbear of mine. Yeah, it needs to have an animation. I can see why they don't right now, because it could potentially lead to a lot of performance issues on some rigs, which, given the fact that the Golden City already has some of those issues, which are being addressed. They are being addressed. They are being worked on. We are obviously trying to test the game, and part of testing the game is finding out these memory leaks and things like that, and making reports so that they can be fixed, so that when players are playing this game seriously and there's no more wipes in the future, not to say that people aren't playing it seriously now, but when there's no wipes in the future and people can build up and acquire mass amounts of resources and stuff like that, you need to be able to fix that problem and not have an issue in that way. So after we finish building up some of these shields, we'll drop them off at the armory so that players can get them. Carnelian Dawn in-game. Hello. Things have changed a little bit. The jewelry area is now its own location, my friend. It's a little bit further down the way. But Wes, thank you for the sub. Hype train incoming. Oh, thank you all. Thank you all. Almost through here. So for this little adventure that we are going on, I did make 2 songs to narrate our journey here. So I shared them at the very start of the stream, but obviously a lot of you kind of add in as the stream progresses, and you didn't have a chance to hear it. So I'll definitely backtrack here on the playlist and pull those up. I am really loving, this isn't an ad for Suno. They do not sponsor me. Hey, look, there's Carnelian waving at us. That's Dawn, by the way, in case anyone was wondering. So Suno is an AI music generator, and I don't think of myself as a lyricist, but I do have inspiration to come up with music on occasion. But I just lack all and every musical ability humanly possible. If I had it, then I would love to. I mean, I have the desire for it. I actually have an electric keyboard right here that is connected to my computer. You can't see it because the green screen exists, but I have it. And I actually at times have considered, plugging it in and making something that way, making some music alongside being a little bard. But yeah, it's Suno has made my life a lot better. And it also improves the quality of the stream because I can have contextual crowbarics. Hello. I know you've been here for a while, but thank you for the follow. I'm glad that you followed us. We do this every Monday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But you already knew that because you've been here. So almost done with this. Then we'll get on our merry way here. Merry way, because we're going to marry. Hey, look, we actually leveled up blacksmithing too. Let's go. Blacksmithing is one of the ones that I haven't done very well or very often because I've been focusing on armor smithing so much. I wanted to let other people kind of focus on other stuff. So, we're going to get Black Wolf joining us as well. Awesome. I'll be sure to send you an invite when you get back in game there, Wolf. So, JC, thanks for the cheers. Cheers. Wes. So, I reached 40 in armor smithing, right? Yes. You can reach. Yeah, waiting at the bridge, boss. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll be leaving through East Bridge, I think. You can get up to level 41 if you hate your life, but 40 is the furthest that you can technically go right now. I think it's hard locked at that. or soft locked at that. And then 41 is where it is a hard lock. And yeah. Getting to 41 includes like crafting thousands of things at trivial, unless you have a really high tier crafting recipe. There are a couple of recipes that exist in game right now. I think the highest is 45 for armor smithing. So theoretically speaking, you actually can't get up past that point. It just doesn't, you can't do it. You just can't do it. So there are non-guaranteed crafts that exist in the game currently is, I guess, the point that I'm getting at. Nails. I need nails, y'all. Nails. I don't have any actual nails, so we're gonna grab some more of this and go make the nails really quick. 47. Yes, I forgot about Ruler's Pauldrons. Yes, so Ruler's Pauldrons, they are a thing, and they are 47. They're not the best. I wouldn't say they're necessarily worth the heartache and the burned, tattered sigils if you don't craft it, but they are good. They are good. Just not that good in my opinion. All right. There should be more than enough steel nails here to get some more steel bucklers made. You did that mistake at 36. Yeah, you know, rip. RIP. Thanks everyone who contributed during the hype train. I do appreciate it. Honestly, I've been streaming for quite a while, on and off, before we really formally started the channel, and I still don't understand what hype trains are, or what we're supposed to do on hype trains. I know you get something for participating in the hype train. I just don't know, whoever's participating gets something. I just don't know what it is. And I probably should. I really should. But you know, you can be streaming for 7 years and not know a lick of what actually any of this stuff is, and then overnight it becomes super important and things start generating over time. You get these. Is that something that I can make so that you get a custom emote when you, and a badge of, okay, if you lead. Interesting. So wait, can I make those emotes, or do you just get them? I can make them. Whew, I'm gonna have to go make them. Gonna have to make some. Because I feel like that's a pretty cool reward for people. You give them an emote so that they can like rep that they participated. Can you change them over time? You make it and then that one gets retired and you make a new one? Oh, okay. You get them, they already exist. Got it. Okay. You know, I did a lot of pixel art for a while. The original like channel art. If you look at all the emotes that we have, they're all custom made by myself. My favorite one is this one. That is hand animated by yours truly. Washed. I love that emote too. Wash. It's just a washing machine. Make them apply them. Okay, got it. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna have to work some of that stuff out and maybe get them professionally done. I don't know. I feel like y'all are, you know, you deserve the best. And if the channel enables me to get you the best, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get you the best because y'all deserve it. Yeah, professionals, you. All right, we're close to getting ready to go here. We'll head on out to Mary. It'll be quite fun. Can make an announcement about the new emotes, like on Twitch, like send out a notification setting or something like that. That'd be really cool. Now I'm playing Q&A with all of you all. I apologize. All right, Melody, hopefully you're watching still, we're going to go show you those insets now. Go ahead and show those to you. Put these away. We'll save maybe like 2 more of these for the journey, because I always end up giving them away to others who need them and actually know how to right click. Oops, that we had some of those. We'll put those there too. I know we have, where is it? There we go. Boom. And then shortwood, gerblam. All right. So if you see something, Melody, perfect. I see you're here. Oh, desync. All right, there we go. So if you do see them and I don't stop, holler out on stream and I will return. So one thing that I do want to improve here in GC7 is the pathing needs a little bit more work. Players are definitely just opting to jump off of things rather than following the paths. So we'll have to work on that in the future, for sure. I was afraid my plots might have upped and went, but they still seem to be there. Yeah, we protected your plots for sure. We were like, absolutely no way in a high hell that Carnelian's gonna have those plots go vaporized. All right, made some additional shields, bucklers for people. There's Dilly. Hi, Dilly. Dilly, are you going to be joining on this nice little quaint adventure that we're about to go on? Oh, it was a joke. Wait, I totally blanked on that. I absolutely 120% blanked on that. That is really funny. Yeah, I could make an announcement, a whole big announcement on it on a Friday about how the emotes are coming. That's really funny. I'm afraid my play. You'll probably have to F7 and fly to the bridge. You mean? Yeah. Okay. We'll do that. You're not talking about these windows, right? As the inset windows? I don't think you are. Okay, so these are actually quite simple. Looks complicated, but it's actually quite simple. So I believe these are 4 plots, or not 4 plots, 4 stone foundations. So, you have your 1, 2, 3, 4. So each of the 4 corners. And then the center bit here is going to be the intersection. You're going to have to free place when you get to the center, but it's just a radial pattern. So what you're going to do is you're going to have your long fine beams, and you're going to start at a 90-degree angle, and then you're going to do your 15-degree pivots going from that 90-degree axis right there. And you're going to fan those out radially. And then you're going to do... So there's a couple of things that you can do here. Firstly, there are a couple of snap points along the large wood beams. And it looks like what Ambi, who is our builder on this, did is she took the snap point right here and then went up. And that is how she got that. And then this center wood beam is quite literally just the corner edges of those foundations. Now just look up past the bridge. Let's see here. I'm assuming we're talking about this direction. Or are we talking about this direction? Are you talking about the big tower? Or are you talking about vertically stacked on the face of the walls? Vertically stacked on the face of the walls. All right, I'm going to show right here. Melody, you tell me left or right is where these inset windows are. It's daytime now. Yeah. I can still show you the lighting or how the lighting worked. There are 2 stacks of 4 or 5 square insets in the walls beyond the bridge. Insets. 2 stacks of 4 or 5 square insets. These wall insets? Or these wall insets? Or these wall insets? Oh, you're looking for the actual lighting for it. So a lot of the times when we do any of our lighting, so like the lighting here, all we did is we put 2 sconces or 4 sconces and then a center chandelier, which then allowed for us to make this kind of glow at night. And we put it close enough where the light was kind of going up and out. So I know that. And then for over here, if you're talking about these areas right here, there's really not that much lighting for these baddies. This one shouldn't have much lighting done yet either. Maybe if you're talking about these ones, we just used the sconces. You misremembered it wasn't at the bridge end. Well, we can definitely spend about 60,000 hours looking to find it. And I do want to find it for you so I can explain it. It might have been over here, because we do have a lot of insets over here. We do have a lot of insets over here. Could be in this area when I was showing the start of the stream. We're not seeing the interior. Are you potentially talking about these things right here? Where they're kind of curved in? Or these right here? The patterned windows. Okay, so you were talking about these? These bad boys. So this is just, it's really just math. If you go straight across, it's going to be like 3 walls and some change. But if you go back 1 at an angle and then go 2 across and then back, then you can make these insets. So for this one right here, you can think of this as 4 wide in terms of large stone foundations. So we have 1 foundation, 2 foundation. You can actually see right here at the top where the stone is kind of connecting. Those are stairs that we're using to do that. The other side where clean squares lit up the side of those towers. Yeah, so this area right here. I'll wait for a second for you to confirm. I'm pretty sure you're talking about this area right here. Now, there's a couple of things that we did. I'll show you the inside of it as well. So we do have kind of 2 different insets here. There's a small stone pillar or a small stone foundation that goes all the way up to right here where the sconce is. And then it curves in and goes out. There is 1.5 stone foundations here. So then we have the small foundation and we bring it in go 2 over and then bring it across again. Not the opening. This thing. Not the opening into the interior. No, the area is just above the sconces. The area is just above the sconces. Just above the sconces. Not the opening into the interior. Smiley. It's not this, right? Looking right here. Yeah, so what we can do actually, Melody, is you can, if you haven't done so already, go and join over at the Professional Gamer Discord, and I can point out exactly what you're talking about and help you build it if you're looking to try and replicate it. You saw what you needed to see. Perfect. All right, Don, I'll talk to you later. So I think we are ready to go. I got JC, Black Wolf, and Dilly all looking to join here. That's right. Is it just... there we go. There we go. There we go. What? Did I spell it wrong? There we go. Oops. There we go. Boom. All right. I made a very special soundtrack for this one. Here it is. Oh, here, I'll get your nice little pose on stream, Black. All right, here we go. Dilly, I don't know if you're joining us or if you've loaded in yet, but we're going to be Audi 530 here very soon. Still loading, I think. Richard Silva, hello. Hello. Glad to see you. Glad to see ya. Let me turn this down a bit. Having a visible dent in the face of the wall. That's actually exactly why we did it, Melody. So when you just have a light and it's hitting the wall, it's not going to show much definition and it makes it just look like a flat box. So what I did when I was building it is I put those indents in there in order to actually show dimension in the build. So that's actually kind of why we did what we did, by having that small little dent. Also, it looks a little cooler. Structurally speaking, probably not the smartest thing to do. But hey, you know, it is what it is. All right, Dilly, if you're here, we're gonna go. Let's go! Uh-oh. Black Wolf. So the direction that we're going to be going to head out here is going to be up through Tremont and over to the Wildling Gate. Now, I feel bad. Wait, we need to wait for Black Wolf here. There we go. Let's go. Not going to eat any food because I'm going to try and preserve as much foodage as I can before we get to these dungeons. It's all about longevity. Yes, but on the top and bottom edges, you were getting the clean edges. I was seeing with a much subtler protrusion. Oh. So there's a trick to that one too. So, yeah. Free placement is actually how we got some of those edges. And that one's a little bit... That one's all freehand plus a little bit of geometry using some wood beams, or in my case, I don't like to use wood beams. I use stone walls to do most of my geometry. I just put the stone walls super far down and use that to kind of place and do all of that. So what I try and do is just do a couple of different angles to kind of force it into the place that I want. And then I know the exact distance that things need to go in order to make things work out. And it actually synced up really, really well in that build. I'm actually kind of stressing about it because it turned out really, really well. And I'm not 100% that I'm going to be able to replicate it, or I don't ever try to replicate necessarily, but I try and build upon it. I'm worried that I'm going to kind of lose that secret tech to get to that. I can tell with the questions that you're asking, Melody. Those are some pretty detailed and good questions. Yeah, so for the cathedral in specific, the architecture of the building was completely done by myself, and then we had several different interior workers done, designers, I guess, that came in and did the inside with all the lighting placement and all of that. I'm horrible when it comes to actual placement of lights. I can make some decently good like structures that can light up well, but not necessarily the best. Avern, hi Eltarii, you guys doing Plilsin tonight? Unfortunately, no. We're going all the way up to Mary. Ladybird, the queen, hello and welcome. Thank you very much for following us. We are on the way to 2,000 followers. Well on the way to 2,000 followers. And I appreciate the follow. Glad that you could join us tonight, or today, or this morning, or whenever it is. Your time. But yeah, we're not going to do Plilsin tonight. In Mary even. We are in Mary, like it's somewhere else. No, we're actually venturing close to the carcinoma. Is kind of where the journey is going to lead us. We might go inside it on stream, but I think most of this stream is going to be us getting there. One of the most difficult dungeons, I think it's safe to say that a lot of the difficult dungeons that exist in Pax Dei right now are in Mary. I have a slight opinion as to why that is. I think Mary is one of the last developed areas, and the developers really got their talents sharpened in how they're building out their dungeons. and a lot of that was in Mary. Oh no, Dilly. You're having a hard time catching up. You can do it. I believe in you. But yeah, we're gonna be heading there. But like I said, we're going to be Carcinoma, because that's going to be where the entry point is, and then we'll be, I think the dungeon's on the list this week. So for our Wednesday run, we are going to most likely be doing, well, Wednesday we're going to do here. We're going to do Zebum Ambulon is that one, the kind of center dungeon in Carries, because we like tattered sigils. And then we're going to also be doing Thursday night, we'll be doing a dungeon most likely in Innisgallia. And then after that, we're going to be doing a dungeon, probably the Carcinoma, and then the farm. We like the farm. Posted a couple pics of my Rose Tower in Discord chat channel. Perfect. Maybe we'll go take a look at it on stream. Love looking at people's stuff on stream. Ooh. Melody, what is the load times looking like for that build? Out of curiosity. Are people getting a lot of staggering on that or not at all? Oh, and Barry just joined last week. Nice. Ambro. We made it to Ambulon last night. 30 tattered in 2 hours. Yes, sir. Ambulon is the place. It is the place for the tattered farm. I walked out in an hour-and-a-half farm with about 25. And that wasn't total. That was just what I had picked up. We had so many tattered that we got. And they got burned almost instantaneously after we acquired them. Farming the farm is always a good time. It's true. You got to go to the farm to farm it. And the best way to go to the farm, at least from our angle, is to go through the Carcinoma first. And unfortunately, you go through the death room, which one mispull will lead you down the path of destruction. Yep, endgame farm. Like I said, mainframe, if you're listening to this, please, please, please add a shrine or something like that in Lioness that we can use to convert and upgrade the lower tier secondary relics up to the next highest tier that they're at. So if I have cracked sigils, that would enable me to upgrade X number of cracked sigils up to a single tattered sigil. Please let me do it. I beg you. I beg you, I beg you, I beg you. Oh. Hold on, Wolf. We'll get you. Don't respawn. This is what party poll is for. Look at that. Eltarii, the healer. You're still not sold in the PvP zone for that? Ambro, thank you for the follow. So my take on it is it gives a good reason for PvE players to sync up with PvP players. If you're a PvE player, you can be the one that is, again, I'm thinking of this Eltarii thinks of things in the future. So I'm thinking when market stalls exist and gold exchange is a thing where I can trade things for gold, then yeah, it makes sense for me to, if I'm a solo PvP or PvE player, I can go and farm up all of those generic, like lower or smaller or however you want to describe it, secondary relics, like cracked or worn sigils. And I can sell that, which they will be a valuable resource to PvP players who are looking for ways to get higher tiered sigils, but they're more specialized in PvP. So it creates a cross dependency between those. And that doesn't mean that the PvE players don't have access to tattered sigils. It's just that PvE players are getting a whole heck of a lot more sigils in general because they're doing more PvE content, which drops those more. So then it creates a link between the two. So yeah, convertible sigils or convertible secondary relics would be a big one. Ambro, yeah, like jewel crafting, I would go so far as to say 10 cracked to 1 tattered, but I'm a masochist in that way. Like, it shouldn't be something that's OP. It should be something that has an exchange rate that matters. It definitely shouldn't be 1-to-1. That's just way too much. There would be way too many of those, but there should be a way to exchange them that allows PvP players to be a little bit more incentivized to what they're doing. So, I'm a firm believer that having cross dependencies like that would be useful and valuable. I know that my opinion might not be a shared opinion with a lot of people, but I think creating opportunities for different styles of play to sync together, and the PvE players are benefiting because they have something that's valuable that other players need, but maybe they're spending more time PvPing and they don't have the time to go and farm it. All of those secondary relics that are lower then actually still have value. It's just a different kind of value, and it's diminishing returns on that value. So there's an important thing there too. I think Mainframe is very keenly aware actually of the need to, in order to have a proper economy, you have to have lower tiered things that maintain value over time as well. So having a tattered sigil tier craft is going to be a lot more valuable than just having plain jack of plate breastplate. But there's going to still be a demand for jack of plate breastplate for some reason. Like, I think, right now I'm walking around with this orange staggering stick, right? It's almost out of its lifetime. I am really only using that staggering stick for circumstances where I need to make sure that I'm potentially stunning enemies. So I have it for those instances where I'm going and doing a 2-man dungeon run into a higher tier dungeon. And it's just 2-man like walking through it. You need to have the orange staggering stick, that stun, that stagger, that gives you more DPS and less damage incoming. It's kind of a nice way to reduce that incoming damage. Now, I'm a firm believer that, like, you need to gear yourself appropriately for the occasion. You shouldn't be taking your best gear to go and farm the lowest tier dungeon and then end up with a bunch of broken gear because, yeah, you were killing everything like a crazy mad lad, but you get that fun for 5 runs and then it fizzles away because the attrition still applies. But I don't have a better solution, but I think that fits today's mechanics. Yeah, so I feel like having something that allows you for an exchange rate would be great. I would hope it would be attached to some kind of crafting discipline, even like an enchanting discipline or something like that. you should be rewarded for playing the game. And ideally, those rewards are things that are going to be acquired. JC, where are you going? Where are you going, buddy? Oh, wait, I know where you're going. Never mind. Yeah, we're gonna go through. Where are you? Oh, I know where you're going. Yeah. Yeah, no, I was going the wrong way. That was my bad. Fires and Ambalon burn 3 T4 shields every run. 100%. Hence the 1, 2, 3, 4 here. They really burn shields. I think that is a different thing as well. I think mainframe needs to kind of readjust the balancing on both weapons and shields. I think they break too quickly for the amount of time. Like Orin Staggering Stick uses Tattered Sigils. To get 20 Tattered Sigils, it takes me more time to farm the 20 Tattered Sigils than it does take me to burn through all of Orin's Staggering Stick. So, yes, I do get this great weapon that has a lot of effects on it that are really good and make sense. However, that same exact thing is also part of the reason why, you know, like I wouldn't want to put more Tattered Sigils into magical weapons right now, because for what they're worth, they cost a lot more than what they actually do. Like, if it takes me 20 hours to farm this, then I need it. That means basically I need to immediately start farming that same thing again with the item I just got in order to maintain me having that item that I just got. My opinion should be, if it takes me 20 hours to gather something, to make something, then as long as I'm not being an idiot with what I'm doing with it, like intentionally getting killed and doing all these things, then it should be able to last me at least 125% of the time it took for me to gather, if not like 150%, like time and a half. So if it took me 20 hours, then I should have 30 hours of use time on under standard use conditions. It shouldn't just be disappearing in less than 10 hours when it took me 20 hours to get it. And yeah, the effects are great, but they're not great. Like the armor in this game, way more useful. Spells that you can cast over and over and over again. You control when you can cast them, as opposed to the stagger is based on random chance. And the lower the chance, I mean, you know, mine is hurt 3. So basically, I think I have like a 40-something% chance of every hit triggering a stagger, but it's not huge. It's not this massive benefit that is being recognized, right? So I think that needs to kind of be evaluated by mainframe and needs to kind of be updated to be more reflectant of helping with that. Better using Tattered on AoE high level items like Consecrated Ground or 3 or buff item like Loyos's 3 or Divine Remedy. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Loyos's Blessing 3 or Consecrated Ground 3 are going to make significant improvements to your gameplay ability and the level. I mean, Consecrated Ground 3 literally diminishes most poisons that can be on players. Like, you just don't feel poison anymore. And if you're not poisoned, then you're getting some solid heals. I can only imagine what it's going to look like if you have a player with that plus like Blessed Renewal 3 or Radiant Men 3 on them as well. You're going to end up with like crazy HP regen, like multiple HP per second regenerating, which will be nuts, but it's worth it because you just spent 20 hours farming the materials for it. So it makes sense. Like, if I invest all of that time, then the game needs to reward that time investment with something that feels like as a player, it feels very valuable. And I'd be really sad if I lost it. And I also I'm going to be pretty sad even with the Orin Staggering Stick, because it's gotten me through some pretty hard dungeons that I shouldn't have been able to get through previously. But because I had the ability to temporarily stun my enemies using the Hurt 3, it made it easier and gave me, obviously I still needed the skill to do it, but it gave me the ability to do it either way. And that's the part that I really appreciate for it. But, you know, it disappearing in 5 dungeons sucks. Also, its durability, in my opinion, is a little too low. It's called Orin Staggering Stick. It's this like legendary stick, it feels like, that some dude named Orin went and, you know, utilized to do something legendary. And as a result of that, it should have a little bit more durability. Like it shouldn't just be something that disappears after going through half of a dungeon. Like that seems a little crazy too, because then that means if you want to really utilize its abilities, you really need to be selective with what you're using, which means you need to bring extra weapons. I mean, look at all the weapons that I have right now. I have my leveling weapons, and then I have my like high level weapons, but then I have to also bring the staggering stick in a different inventory slot. So you have to pick between getting loot or just dumping all of your stuff and only bringing weapons so that you can clear a dungeon, but then you don't get to take the things back from the dungeon that you are farming because you have to use all of these slots for all of the other things. I mean, I feel like this is a pretty fair inventory slot setup here, right? You have your HP potion, your stamina potion, your food, and then your main weapon with, you know, a main one-handed weapon and then your main two-handed weapon. And like, that's what you got. I think there's some benefit there, but you really have to kind of rotate through things. And if you are going into a fight and you have Orin Staggering Stick, you might have to move that around. Now, the food, if I wasn't a crazy person, like what I would do is move the food off of my bar and somewhere else. But it's just way more convenient for me to be able to hit that than to open up tab and then hit E on all 3 of those and go from there, kind of thing. So I do think that there's some benefits to having it kind of in my inventory instead. But either way, like it's still inventory that's taking up space. Yeah, I rotate my weapons in T5 dungeon to mitigate the durability damage. I take 3 weapons usually. I say for now, save the magic weapons for PvP. Yeah, and really that's the best place to have them, but it's also then the most risky place to have them in, because if you're PvPing someone and you die, then it's automatically gone as well. Like that's a hefty loss. I mean, I'm fine with losing armor. Armor can be replaced pretty quickly, but 20 tattered sigils, that's a different story, you know? Like, woof. That'll hurt really, really bad to lose it. But at the same time, you got to do what you got to do. They also give you a significantly higher advantage. If you're a player that likes to gamble with magic, then, yeah, you're way better off. Like, I mean, most players aren't going to be bringing high tier magic weapons into a PvP zone. So for all of those players, they're going to be at a lot lower of an advantage. Now, the only downside, right, is like, yeah, you can bring your magic weapon in, but if they outnumber you, that magic weapon's not going to change the face of the battle. Or at least not very easily. Unbreakable on every item. Yeah. Dear God. Dear Lord, unbreakable, please. if that exists. If that exists, I'll take reduced stats for something that never breaks, or something that takes a really long time to break. Far more valuable. Hope they fix the crafting bug and the tabard bug. By the tabard bug, are you referring to this bug right here, where JC's tabard isn't displaying because he loaded in after I did? I'm unfamiliar with whatever crafting bug you were referring to. Yeah, I feel like this one's pretty easy. Oh, JC party foul. Got a little Inquisition action over here too. Woof. Yeah, definitely a plus to durability will be important. I think they've even mentioned that before in some informational stuff that they've posted, where the craft is going to also have kind of a base stat, and then being higher, you can kind of start targeting it towards certain bonuses for your weapons. So like you can nudge it closer to giving you a higher durability item, but then, you know, you're not pushing it towards something else, like giving it a fire proc or something like that. The Narc interview is best for enchanting. Yeah, they definitely talked a little bit more about enchanting over there. It's a shame that Narc basically does not care about Pax Day anymore, though. I talked to him a lot really early on, and he just didn't. He didn't stick with the game. I think he's just way too excited about. Oh, you're so lucky, Wolf. Oh Lord. That is hilarious. Spawned in to die again. So when you're crafting thousands of coifs, it will get stuck and you'll have to walk out the craft and restart. I know exactly that feeling. Yeah, because it's like the bars are moving and they're incremental, and then there's that off chance that it isn't going to move anymore because one side says you've crafted it, but then the other side says you're like 0.05% off, but you're not going to move anymore. It's not going to advance anymore, so it can't actually solve the equation. And then you end up with no craft, and you're going to have to leave. And then the thing that you were crafting is wasted, and you don't get those resources back. You don't get the XP for it either. And it never happens when you fail a craft. It only happens, or at least I've noticed, it only happens when you actually pass a craft. It has nothing, like you're only getting punished. It's not like, oh, you fail. Well, it's not a double whammy, I guess, which is nice. You're not failing the craft and not getting any resources back. People will come and go, but Eltarii will be here to witness it all. That is true. It was fun. I mean, it was nice getting to talk to Narc. I mean, you know, someone with 50K YouTube subscribers is no joke. They have a legitimate, you know, platform that they're connecting to people on. It was really cool to talk to him, and he's a little bit of a character, and I know he's probably trying to build on that character a little bit too, but he's just a nice guy, and he wanted to learn more about Pax Day and get some information. So for anyone who thinks he doesn't go and do his research, he definitely does. And he was out there, you know, reaching out to people who he thought would have kind of the best perspective that they could on it. And that's what, I guess, why he reached out to me. Yeah, the pain of leveling is real. Richard, you're probably higher than me on crafting. I've kind of shrugged on my duties recently. What level are you in armor smithing? JC, put on that fancy little shoulder pauldrons you got there, baby. Yeah, you know. Wait for Wolf to come in. Black Wolf. 38 going to 40. Nice. I am 36 going to 37. 37 going to 38. Oh, so close. We changed our priorities for a couple of other things, so I stopped doing a heavy push on leveling, but we're going to be picking that up here shortly. Or you started playing today. You're probably in higher crafting. Yeah, Dilly definitely has been a little bit more lagged on that. Hey, what up, Eric? Oh no. Did someone attack you? There we go. That's what we needed. Good day. I don't know if it's a good day if you're naked and afraid. I was typing in the wrong chat. Our town is just a bit south of Pilsen. Of Plissen. Plissen. I can pronounce it correct. Ah. Sir Nunos. Oh. Gotta get my gamer stretch in here. Cliff did him in. Oh, that's not good. The rules set upon this plane of existence by the divine can't be ignored by any of her creation, unfortunately. The rules. Eltarii, the character, always has to be so much more inquisitive. People probably think I'm pretentious. Better to need it and have it than not have it and need it. That's not how you say it, but hey, whatever. We're being original here. Gonna have to remember to log out in a wild lens or an outpost. They're working on fixing that, Dilly, by the way. Indeed. Best of luck finding your body. All right. Let's wave goodbye. All right. This guy. Oh, no, you don't. Damn food. Whatever. What is he eating? No need. All right. In we go. In we go. Oh no. I'm alone in the PvP zone. Someone don't come and kill me. Didn't realize we're going to Lioness. Well, I couldn't say it out loud. Don't want people to be prepared. Definitely wasn't trying to sell that we were going a different direction earlier. Although some PvP action would be pretty cool. I wouldn't be opposed to it, regardless of outcome. On my way. Hey, like I said, generally speaking, the Golden Company's rules of engagement are pretty strict. So if you see us out here, you're probably safe. It would just be a recommendation to not engage in fighting with us. Then the rules of engagement kind of are more like guidelines at that point. I'm never opposed to being jumped. Means I get to take your gear back with me. Absolutely. That is the fun part. No, hopefully we don't get somebody murdered by a bunch of corrupted boar. That would be really a shame. Okay, so our goal is actually far to the north. But I ate more than HP food at the moment. It's fine, Black. I wouldn't worry about it. Though, the best chance, the best opportunity is always presented to an enemy when your pants are down. So, it will happen. Yeah, one of these days we're actually going to be, I don't know if we're going to be able to do it on a Monday normally. But maybe we'll try and do it on a Monday where we go and do PvP bouts. And we get a bunch of people together and we go and do some dueling, some group dueling and solo 1v1s, stuff like that. It's really, really great fun. And also, you know, you come out here and you go to PvP. If you're on the unfortunate side of taking the L, then, you know, your gear's gone on that first death. Coming out here and doing some PvP bouts, you can play, lose, win all of the time, and you can keep coming back and keep getting those reps in, which is going to get you a lot more experience with a lot less risk involved in that experience. So we like doing it to get that training up and get people experienced as best we can. What kind of ops do you have that are getting you with your pants down? No, like what I'm saying is the opportunity that an enemy has is quite often presented to them when you're most unprepared. let me say that less Yoda-like. Typically speaking, the chances or the opportunities, not even the opportunities, you are caught in the most unbeneficial circumstances when you are least prepared. So what I was saying is, considering that Black Wolf has a little bit less health than what I would kind of quantify as okay for PvP, means that if something was to go wrong and we were to, you call that tactics, it is true. There's actually a benefit to having someone that gets attacked first, because they're the bait and they become the focus. And when they become the focus, everyone else stops focusing on the people that are doing the damage and starts focusing on the guy that they think they can kill first. Some would call this the master of bait, or the master baiter of sorts. But I just call them Black Wolf. It was coming. We all knew it was coming. So, well, anyways, we're very close to nearing the conclusion of our journey. By the conclusion, I mean really only the beginning, because we are going to be adventuring off into the wonderful province of Mary here. And there are so many fun dungeons. There's obviously several groups that are great to go and visit. Storm's Refuge is up here on Danu. I just saw them the other day. They have a really cool in progress build that they're working on up there. They have a bunch of cool stuff. Bunch of fun things to do. Mostly these exceptionally difficult. Some of the most difficult dungeons in the game are all the way up here. And we just happen to be located the furthest point away from those dungeons, which is both unfortunate and also nice, because it forces us to kind of go through everywhere and adventure. Who shall be henceforth known? Yeah. Good old Black Wolf, the master of baiting. Now, where did he go? There we go. Go Barracks. What makes you say that Mary has the most difficult dungeons? Is it because of layout? Absolutely. So it's because of layout and mob composition. So the Carcinoma has very tight blind corners, and there is like entire rooms full of embalmers, and the spawn rates in the dungeon are also some of the shortest, or at least they feel like the shortest. So you kind of compound them all together, and it turns into just a really big cluster. If you go into a room and you pull too much, it's, game over. And because the respawn timers are so fast, not only is it game over, it feels like under 15. We haven't timed it, but we feel like there's some pretty quick respawns coming in through this dungeon. It could also be that we just had to take things a lot slower, and because it took a lot slower, it felt like they were coming back a lot sooner because our forward progress was so low. But no, it's some pretty tough, some of the most technical dungeon work that I've had to do in Pax Dei in a long time, actually. Very, very technical pulls, and our group, we do face pulls. So we don't do arrow or fireball pulls, mostly because it's the lowest threat generating when you do a face pull, as opposed to if you do a fireball or even an arrow. So you have a little bit more control, at least in my opinion. I have a little bit more control by doing the face pull, but we kind of like share that responsibility between face pulls and also fireballs on occasion. The arrow pulls can get out of hand really quick, and then with the blind corners, both of those become practically impossible. So we were kind of built based on how we play as the Golden Company and all the people who come with us from the various groups. We were kind of built for doing this, built for it because we're so used to doing face pulls, and when you have blind corners, you have to do face pulls. You don't get a choice. So I do like my face pulls. My face pulls are some of the favorite things that I get to do. You can, Crowbarks. Ask away. But while you're typing out your question, I'm going to keep on talking. So, yeah, these dungeons are very technical, and or at least the one that we went into. There's possibly a couple more difficult ones, but really, you can marginalize the effect of a dungeon pretty quickly in most circumstances because of, in my opinion, one of the best in slot spells in game for PvE, and that's Pacify. You can control how many mobs actually have the ability to even attack you. And that control, as long as you can see the enemies, means that you can modify the difficulty level of any dungeon that you're experiencing pretty easily. And because Pacify is so readily available at the first tier with the Moonshine Pauldrons, you know, it's not that big of a deal to have to deal with it in that way. Like everyone can have it is what I mean. So that's kind of like a really important component. If everyone can get it, then that means, yeah, you only have like one or like one person that can cast every 2 seconds or whatever, but that means you can have 10 people all do that exact thing, and you can sleep everything in an entire room if you wanted to. Now with blind corners, you can't actually see the mobs, so you can't actually pacify them, which means it forces you to take the full engagement at whatever that full engagement was. You can't reduce some of the stressors that might be on you for it. So you're just stuck doing whatever is in that room, and you assume that you're going to just aggro the whole thing. So let's see here. What was Crowbarks' question? Would you rather keep the name tag as it is color-wise, white/red, or will you be okay with a blue for pacify targets and another color for mez? I mean, I would be okay with it. My only thing is, how are they going to do it for everything? You know, like what would you do in all of the other situations that you could possibly have? Like right now, yeah, we have Mez. Oomph. Hello and welcome. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Glad that you can make it. Yeah, I think having it in a situation where there's different name tags for different things, you know, eventually I think there's going to be things like alliances and all of that. So with alliances and other things, I think some colored name tags are going to be, you know, different. Having party members with green, clan members with blue or something like that would be big, or at least would be some kind of important, or just, yeah, some kind of UI like Dilly's saying, where there's like the Mez icon with a timer on it would be cool. That would be super cool. It would kind of break some of the immersion though, but quality of life and immersion kind of are always in conflict with each other. So it's kind of like one or the other in some cases. So I don't know what one would be good for that. I thought about it in a simple way, unless would be like a logo similar to the one is for dot above the up front of the HP bar. Yeah, I mean, I feel like at some point in time they did have kind of icons next to them, and they took that away at some point. I don't know why. But like with the poison icon, like we have poison, like the fire icon, they have the fire icon. I think if they have the fire icon, then they should also have the mez icon, because at least for the graphics right now, some players can't render in the butterflies around them, or it's too far away to actually see if there's butterflies around them. So it'd be good if the game under the name tag or the nameplate could show those things for players, so that, you know, people who can't see as well, or they don't have the best, you know, high resolution computer screen or whatever it is, they can still see, because their character can see it clearly. Maybe they can't, but the character should be able to see the butterflies flying around. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like having the butterfly like icon for Pacify by their nameplate, like underneath it, I think that would be kind of how they do it with fire. I think that would be like, if they were to continue the trend with the fireball icon or the fire, they're on fire icon, it would be something similar to that. Like status conditions should have an icon underneath it. It shouldn't have a timer, because like when you have a timer, people don't have to talk anymore. If you don't have a timer, people have to talk. Be like, that guy has 45 seconds left. He has 30 seconds left. He has 10 seconds left, whatever it is. That communication, I think, is what adds a lot of player satisfaction to having that coordination or that knowledge that's going on in the background. But having the logo is important, especially for players who maybe they're a little visually impaired or something like that too. Like if they can't see the butterflies, or they're not popping up, or they don't have the best computer for it and their render distance is low, there needs to be, if their character can see it, if their player character can see it, then it should also be reflectant in everything else, is what it should be, in my opinion. In my wonderful opinion. Ah, boars, don't touch me. All right, so we've traveled quite a long way here. We're on the opposite side of the creation right now. Completely not where everyone else is. If you're in a dungeon, crank that stream distance up. You're in a tiny map. Yeah. I think I don't think players should have to change their stream distance based on like where they're at, because that gets disruptive of the game too, and you can't like communicate that to every player unless they all are forced to watch something that says, hey, turn up your stream distance when you're inside the dungeon if you can't see things. Maybe they should just make it a default setting where the stream distance is turned to max when you're inside a dungeon. Always on max though, potato PC. Yeah, those potato rigs. Ooh. Yeah, Richard, hopefully you haven't gotten stuck in the Golden City yet. Potato computers can get trapped there if they're not careful. Though it is a problem that's being actively worked on. We're pretty sure. We think it is. Lightly spoken about it being worked on. But I think it has something to do with chests. Player chests. Causing an overload when... Or not an overload, but a stutter when you get in, and then your processor no longer has processing ability to talk to the game client anymore. So then the game client thinks, that person's cheating, they're not talking to me anymore. So then they disconnect you back to the character screen. And that's not fun. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes it. Oh, yeah. So this dungeon right here is one of the harder dungeons that we've been to, and it is called the Carcinoma. And it is very difficult because there's a lot of blind corners. And not only are there a lot of blind corners, excuse me, it's been a long day. Not only are there a lot of blind corners, but the mobs that are there are all things like larval embalmers, which are just nasty if you don't see them, because they're just going to keep on spawning impish interventions and you'll get overpowered. Those impish interventions aren't necessarily super hurty, but they're going to keep on applying fire procs to you. And after enough fire procs, you're going to end up with, you know, being in SOL. We don't like that. I visited a friend and he has a beast PC, and even him has difficulties to see the butterflies for Mez. Wind will bubble sometimes in the dark places. Yeah, it is pretty difficult. Richard, I visited the Golden City on Friday and was chatting with Pinduin. Only had a lag spike entering Dolavan. Yeah. It's easier to load into Dolavan. It's less easy for some potatoes to log into the city proper. We actually have a couple of Golden Company members that can't log in because their computers aren't prepped enough. They're not ready enough and they get the stutter. But, you know, that's kind of the point of being able to test all this stuff too, right? Now let's see here. We want to get in to the carcinoma without just getting owned 5,000. Oh, what are you guys doing out here? These guys, they're gonna bully me to death. I'm on fire too. I'm on fire too. I'm on fire. I said, dear Lord Jesus, I'm on fire. That's what health potions are for. Look at us. Even outside of the dungeon, there's just so many bad guys. Called my PC a potato. Hey, you know. We have health potions. Yeah, we have health potions. Healing potion 1. Look at that. Do you need some, JC? Might be trying to be funny on me. Trying to be funny on me. See, so like when you're not in blind corners, then all you have to do is pacify. And then all of your problems go away. So you can just aggro the ones that you want and not the ones that you don't. And then nobody even bats an eye. So this one can get spicy. I have to be careful because there we go. Okay. There we go. Might have found us. Where did my shield go? There we go. Oh no. Well, running is never going to stop him from killing you, my friend. Running is only going to make him chase you harder. Bully this imp. Now the nice thing is Normally you'd have to crawl through that top spot, and you can get really messed up in that spot. And that's not what we want. So we came in the back door. Or the side door, I guess. No spoilers. Is this the northeast one that we went to the other night? This is the one in the center of the map. Outside from Gwendolyn Stone. The Carcinoma. We'll just bully these guys really quick. Multiple bullying attempts. Of course, like I said, my right click does not work. Sometimes, and I just don't right click. I choose to not click left or right sometimes. I just stand there. All right, in we go. Wee. No jump. Look at that. Wee. Show them my block level. Like I said, I don't know how to block. I use my left click with a mace. That's all I use. Yeah. What a nasty little dungeon this is. Got a little bit of dance moves going here. All right, while we're loading in here, let's see. Where am I? Let's pull this up. Where are we? Where are we? That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. There we go. Okay. This is the Professional Gamer Discord. If you all haven't joined it yet, you totally should. It's linked down below if you're in Twitch. And if you're not, then you actually can just do Discord. Maybe. I think. Oh, hold on. Give it a second to boot up. So this was someone's build that they just put in here. It's Melody. Melody, thank you for posting. I think you were talking about the flower, right? Here. There we go. Wow. A rose. That is huge. I like the fractal design to it as well. Looks like a kaleidoscope. Oh, looks like it's actually climbable as well. Oh, different one. It's all the way over here. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm blocking a little bit, but not a lot. Wow, look at that. That is a pretty cool structure you got there. That's really cool. I give that a solid 8 out of 10 for the wood sculpting. Wood sculpting. It looks really cool. Are those flowers at the top or sconces? I can't tell. The only thing that would improve it is if you did some lighting on the bottom to really help that kind of reflect up. Get that spatial lighting going up and kind of illuminating the underside of it, because you got a lot of really cool lines going here. That would be really, really cool to see. Let's see the top. Wow. That is so cool. Hey, nice bridge. Hopefully boats can get through it. I like that. There's a nice little compound you got here. A bunch of really cool builds right next to an actual like in-game bridge plus player-made bridges going across in a couple of different places. That's really, really cool. Really good good job, Melody. I'm like losing my sanity right now with my speech. My spoking is bad. Okay, so here I'm going to give a quick little demonstration of how this dungeon can just be whack, wiggity whack. I'm going to do that using apparently no weapon. So if I pull this imp, he's not of like the same enemy class, so it's at least a little bit better. But at the same time, not the best. Now, if I was to aggro Shane Maloney, wish I could have joined you guys tonight, but I had to run out of Antian for a dungeon tomorrow. Hey, friend, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. No worries, this isn't like an official, we're not doing one of our standard Golden City dungeon runs tonight. This is just us doing runs. We have 3 people, so it's probably going to go south really, really quick. See? Blind corner. We had people aggroed, didn't even know what they were doing. So if you're smart and able to do this really, really well, you can either time out the staggers or you can body block. Either one, not necessarily the best option. Now, we're gonna look at all of those guys. See if I pull this guy when we're not ready, he's gonna mess me up. So we're gonna come back here. Oh, we got one coming off a timer. So we're gonna pull him back. And it's just going south. Thomas, thank you for the follow. Now let's see if I can help recover this a bit. The quick little stunny poo. Now they're coming back onto me. And we got another one adding on. And I'm down. See? We're murdered. We're getting murdered. That's not what I wanted. I wanted this. Oh boy. Here we go. Wish me luck. Yeah, there's no luck here. See, and we pulled 2. But the aggro fell off. It dipped off on him. And it gets dirty. It gets so dirty. If you go hallway right, your first name is Hallboy. Yeah, I know. Hallboy's great. He drops some good stuff. The pacify behind you will run out soon. Yeah, we figured that one out. So it's a very difficult dungeon because of, oh Lord. Hold on. Just wait a lickin' second here. You guys. I will kite you around. Where's JC in all of this? Aha. Oh. Oh. You can evade the melee damage. Yeah. I probably should do that. These guys are just gonna cycle aggro if we're not careful. Let me see if I can pull some aggro with some healing here. Get him staggered. You want to bully me? You want to bully me? Oh no. Oh no. Ow. You sucker. Yeah, doing this is going to be very difficult with only 3 people, but it'll be fun. Yeah, when you have consecrated 3, it'll be easier. But then also in this dungeon, what I found is when you bring that consecrated, you're also going to be hurting yourself because the consecrated is going to generate a lot more threat, and you can potentially pull a lot more with you as well. So it gets a little nasty. Getting cycle washed by these guys. But this dungeon does have a lot of really, really good and tasty relics. Now if I aggro that, it's going to go south real quick. So we'll go ahead and pull this guy. So what, we killed that guy like 2 minutes ago? The first guy. So we can kind of put a timer and see when that person respawns. Those acolytes can really make someone's day sour. We don't like it. We don't like sour. So fortunately, it looks like a lot of these guys are pointing the other way. A nice additional 20 health here, or 40 health. There we go. Get bullied. Okay. See if we can pull this guy. There we go. Oh no, he's going for JC. Doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter. Fireball Mez. Fireball Mez? Do you think I'm going to get better at the game by fireball mezzing everything to death? No. Fireball Mez will eventually not work the way that it is, and I'd much rather not be stuck in a bad habit than doing what we're doing now and learning to get better. Why are the mobs frozen? Pierre Carlitos. That's because we're pacifying them. So we're basically sleeping them in order to control the number of mobs that we're dealing with at any given time. This is what we're trying to do. Ultimately, what we're trying to do is get down and to the right here, because there's a nice little secret spot. But that is the death room. And the death room can get really hairy really quickly. And we will probably get killed here. Might turn into a body recovery. Blocking, not blocking is a bad habit. Dilly, don't get me started. Don't you get me started. Left clicking is a lot easier. And as someone who is an armor smith, I'd much rather not lose all of my precious work so recklessly. Oh, I wasn't trying to cast that. I was trying to cast Pacify. Oh, what did I do? Oh, didn't mean to do that. Nice bully the acolyte. Say no to mob destiny. Yeah, density. It's God, my speech is just going today. Yeah, it's a tough dungeon, and what you can't see is the thing that'll kill you off to that side. That's even more so. So there we go. 3's not as bad as it could be, but it is pretty bad. Let's see if we can. No. There. Perfect. Almost death is better than guaranteed. Yeah, oh boy. A little bit of a recluse, that guy. Right. So what I would imagine is up top we're already getting respawns. Let's see. Not yet. Not yet. Semiramis, hello. I heard there were bugs. Yeah, so there's actually a room in here. I don't think we're going to be able to actually clear that room because you need a little bit more people to clear it. But as you could see in the thumbnail, you'll get like 9,000 impish interventions all lined up in the same space because they're just constantly spawning. Embalmers are spawning them over and over and over and over and over again. You end up with like 1 million of them. Yeah. So I can hear him patrolling. We're going to pull the glutton. There we go. And the hard thing is it's just you do the clear. And if you don't do it fast enough, these guys are just coming back right on top of you. Sometimes I just hold down the spot you're at to farm tattered. Yeah, it's I could see this being a good one because the gluttons drop it. Oh boy. Damn. Let's see if we can do a little batching here. As long as that other abductor doesn't aggro. Oh, we're gonna get. Oh, nice. Not today, abductor. Not today. See you later, Richard. Thanks for stopping by. If someone has the patience to fireball Mez the entire dungeon solo, they deserve whatever they get. Yeah, no, they absolutely do. Mars Wraith, we are located in the Carcinoma. It is the southwesternmost dungeon in Mary. Okay. Here's another patroller. I think there's actually more than one possible. Yeah, so we came in here with two full groups. And we pushed a little too hard, and we almost got cleared out there too. See you later, Averin. Oh boy. Fortunately, those imps are pointed the wrong way. So see, here's the blind corner problem, right? They just come from every corner. You've had some bad corpse runs here. Yeah, I could see that. And then, yeah. This is a dirty one. So hopefully he's going to talk with like 3 friends. God. Fortunately, it was only his 3 friends. Whoa, man. I got hit by 1 triple attack. Shoot an arrow through the doorway and see where it comes. Yeah. Yeah. It can get nasty. This little spot right here actually might be the spot where the impish interventions are, now that I'm thinking about it. If I recall. Oops. Fat fingered. Fat fingered. See, and then you die, and now you're slowed down. Nobody likes being slowed down. Perfect. So that's actually part of where we're going. Sit those guys down. We're just gonna block you until you break my shield. Owie. Yes. Ambition interventions are indeed spawned in by those loser embalmers. Nobody likes those guys. Ooh, I'm on fire. Oh, my music disappeared. Let's fix that. There's the wonderful little loot pile. That's not worth it. Yeah. Acolytes are even more dangerous when you don't have what we don't have, which is the 3 fine generic leather. Ooh, nice. We don't have consecrated ground. So it can get really sour real quick. So since we took this little aside, now I have to run the risk of our exit being respawned in. Yep. Imp. Come here. There we go. Come here, Impy McImperface. Get ripped apart. Okay, cool. So those respawns are happening, which means we have maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes before we get to this, which means we have still have some time there. So that's nice. So what I'm going to try and do is get this acolyte here. right here. There we go. Yeah, we might have to unstuck here, actually. Fortunately, looks like we're okay on this. Now the hairy room is just down the hallway. They're not okay. Who are they attacking? Oh, hold up. Where did Black Wolf go? Where'd he go? Wonder where he went. Did he die? Oh, he died. Oh no. Okay. Pull back, JC. Oh no. Just block, JC. I'm a dead man. Oh boy. Block, please. God. It happens. These guys are going to start spawning on us. This is really bad. Alright. Let's get people down here at least. Oh, look at me. Got my stamina. The stamina broke. You hate to see it. I feel like Dilly might be pretty close to here as well. How long are we there for? We're probably only going to be here for maybe another 20 minutes, I think. Not much longer. We have a very clear goal in mind. Why is my stamina not respawning though? There we go. Because I was glitched on blocking. So for anyone who's wondering, your range is actually increased the more you're zoomed in on your camera. It has to do with camera distance, not character distance right now. So if you want your true range to be reflected, you want to be zoomed in. I will demonstrate. See how I can see him from this far away? Oh, hold on. We aggroed. We're gonna get the cormorant and the abductor too. Oh boy. Ouch. Let's see if I can get him around here. Okay. See if I can switch to another stun. Oh boy. Yeah. He's a wipe. Alright, we're gonna have to try and run this quicker rather than slower. Not today, misters. Oh, please. Initiate corpse run. Yeah. We had to be careful on that one. Maybe they have to run back. This is sketchy. It is sketchy, y'all. So if I pull him over here, there we go. Now I respawn. Now I come through. Oh no. No. Hold on. Did that happen? What's up, boys? Stop it, sir. Nobody likes it when you're this way. Nobody likes it when you guys are like this. Perfect. Well, we got our gear back, so I can at least do that. That was not legal what just happened though. It was 100% not legal. Okay, let's start the recovery process. Let's start taking away all of these wonderful things. And then I will heal myself a bit. And then I will open the doors for them using Pacify. Yeah, that's an F8 for sure. So basically what just happened is I F8'd, or not F8'd, I got killed, but I opened up my loot inventory as I was dying. So then I was able to click take all after I respawned. So I respawned with my gear. That is illegal. That should not happen. Fix the meshing at the gate. They did. So the only reason that those enemies are doing what they're doing is because there we go. Okay. So let me heal myself. So JC, hopefully you can get going here. There's that. Hopefully that room doesn't respawn, or else that's gonna get super silly. Okay. Gonna get really sketchy here. God damn it, JC. You sucker. Oh boy. This guy's getting so ambitious. There we go. Okay. So, I'm gonna hang out with my friends here. See if I can pull a party corpse. I don't know if I can. There's gonna be respawns coming. Woof. Oh, he said good to go. Sick. Effing get the hell out of here. Where you guys going? It's okay. That's how you get your stuff out of a dungeon. All right, but we still have one thing that we need to do. So here. Black Wolf leave dungeon. I am going to make a report. But don't need you here for that. Both of you. Both of you. Okay, so in order to replicate what we do, come here. Let me grab one of them. Nope, damn it. Try it again. Okay, come here. I'm gonna run up here. He killed me. Right. But now I will hit F8 because this will be the best part. Okay. So for this one, it is when looting body before picking up. If I die, looting body before picking up. If I die, I can respawn after taking all. Here. That is a bug. That is what? Interface, most likely. I will respawn with all the gear that I just took. Makes me angry. Take all. Now respawn. Then that's when I press F8 again. And then we do interface, gear, result. Respawn with gear after looting, but before dying. And that is how you're supposed to test the game, y'all. See, so it didn't even leave, but it was still there. Bing! What up, Karate? Karatel. How are you? Hopefully good. We just did a little bit of a body recovery to end a very amazing and successful stream. So what do you want to say about the zoom in and zoom out before the wipe? Yeah. So let me see if I can show you outside. They already head out? I don't know. So let's see. See if I can get a good one. Okay. So see how I can get this guy? Oh, they're there. See how I can get this guy from here? Let's see if I can. Okay. Let's try it again. So see how I can't see him from here? Maybe this is a bad example. Okay. Yeah. So right here. See how I can't see him? Now let me close out of it. See how I can't see him? Now I can. And now it fits on the outside too. But when you try and do it, it fails. Can't see him. Can see him. It's basically judging by my camera angle when the actual like reticle can pop up. When will we be here next? Can you come then? Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to be running this dungeon tomorrow. Is today Monday? Yeah. So we're going to be doing that. So it slightly affects crowbarics. It slightly affects the distance. That's because the range calculation is done from your camera angle and not your camera distance and not your character distance. So like right now I'm close, but if I did from here, I couldn't cast it. See? Only once I zoomed in would I be able to craft it or cast it. It's a little difficult to show here because I'm looking up and it's forcing my camera closer because the ground's colliding with the camera, but you get kind of the point. Yes. So the distance is right now, it's not supposed to be, but right now distance is being calculated not from my character, but from my camera position. Yeah. It's a bug. I don't think it's intended. It should be from your character, not your camera. Yeah. So that's kind of why it works the way that it works. Oh, it looks like Dilly's almost here. But I think that is where we are going to end the stream for tonight, just because it is getting late and I need to go to bed. But I hope everyone had an amazing time joining us on another very professional Monday live stream. Today was Labor Day in the States, so for any of you who are enjoying your day off, I hope it went well and you had an extra super fun long weekend. And we're going to be back at it. So I promised on Friday that I was going to work on putting out the Cathedral series starter. I got a little delayed on that. I do apologize. I've been promising it for a while, and there's a lot of components that are going into the first one to kind of establish it and all of that. So it's going to take a little bit longer. I do apologize. Hopefully y'all can forgive me for that. And it'll be coming out and it'll be really, really cool. It'll be kind of a short series talking about a lot of the building that went into it and kind of the thought process behind some of these. And, just extrapolating a lot on how we came up with the build. So we'll be doing that. You can expect to see us doing some more dungeon runs next Monday for another very professional Monday live stream. Actually, that is a lie. So I just remembered what day next week is. So the very professional Monday stream is going to shift over to the very professional Tuesday stream just for next week and next week alone. And we're going to a nice little gala. So I get to go be a professional gala person instead of a professional gala, professional gamer, professional gala gamer on Monday of next week. So I'm going to be enjoying some really nice food, and it's a fundraiser, so it'll be really, really fun time. And that doesn't mean we're not going to do the weekly stream. It's just going to be on Tuesday next week. So if you are planning on tuning in, do note that it's getting rescheduled for next week to Tuesday, still 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the standard time, for these streams. It's just going to be on Tuesday instead of Monday of next week. So hopefully everyone has a great rest of your weeks. We're going to get a couple of videos out to you hopefully soon, as well as obviously the PAX Friday review on Friday. So be sure to tune in to that. If you're watching us over on Twitch and you haven't done so already, please hit that follow button so that you can get notified when we go live. And also, a lot of our content is over on YouTube. We have been covering PAX Day since day one, literally, not figuratively. Like once the day that the game was announced, we started covering it, and we are the longest channel for PAX Day, I think, in existence at this point. Scray Cool, thank you for the follow. I do appreciate it. But with that being said, we have so much content over on our YouTube channel. We interviewed the developers for over 3 hours. I say we, like as a channel, we interviewed the devs for over 3 hours, and got a lot of information on how the game's working and how it's going to go forward in the future. And hopefully we can get a couple more of those interviews under our belts in the months to come. But I hope you all enjoyed the stream. We had a nice little adventure. We went kind of down into the dungeon, but it's a little risque to keep going down with only 3 people. And yeah, that just was going to be a little tough. But with that being said, I hope you all have a great rest of your week. I think I said that like 5 times already, but I do mean it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Until then, though, I am Eltarii the Professional Gamer. And if you stay tuned, I will send us over and go and raid anyone else that is streaming Pax Dei over on Twitch. But with that being said, I'll talk to you all later and have a great rest of your nights. Deuces.